Behind the scenes of a cocktail photo shoot. What's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. On this channel we talk about everything to do with food photography, so if that interests you, click subscribe down below. In this video I'm going to be going behind the scenes on one of my cocktail shoots for the summer drinks series I started. For this video I'm just going to show you exactly what I do for a normal shoot step by step, and a few tips if you're wanting to start some of your own cocktail photography. The first step I always take when I'm doing any shoot is to gather some inspiration. So I'll have in mind roughly what I want to photograph. So I knew I wanted to do some cocktails, some summery drinks, and I wanted my cocktail to have like a nice summery theme. I went onto Pinterest and I gathered a few photos that gave me a bit of inspiration together into a new mood board. I get inspiration for a few ideas. I'm not going to copy any of these photos, and now I have those ideas, I'm going to start drawing out exactly how I want my shoot to look. When I'm drawing out my shoots, I will always plan roughly what props I'm going to use, background, lighting positions and angles. This is going to make it a lot easier on the day of the shoot and make the whole thing run a lot smoother. Having a shoot planned out is a really good idea for something like a cocktail or drinks photo shoot, because when you've got the drink on set, it's not going to sit there for very long. It's going to start to look a bit sad. If you've got any condensation on your glass, it's going to drip. If you've got any ice, which I assume you would for a summer drinks photo shoot, it's going to start to melt, and again, everything's just going to look a bit sad. If you want to get more of an idea of exactly how I plan my shoots to improve my photography, check out this video up here. Now that's all the planning and the ideas sorted. On the day of the shoot, I will go to the shop and I will get any ingredients or garnishes I want to include in the image. I always make sure I gather these on the day of the shoot to make sure they're as fresh as possible. There's no point getting them 1 or 2 days beforehand, because by the time it comes to the shoot, they might not look quite as fresh as you wanted, and you're going to end up going to the shop for more. For this shoot I'm using hard light, and it's going to be roughly about 25 degrees from the back towards the left of the image, and held quite high, which is going to give this a really nice summery feel, like it's kind of taken around midday. This is something I will plan out during my planning session, so I'm not spending ages fiddling about with exactly where I'm going to be placing my light when it comes to taking the picture. I wanted this image to have a nice summery feel, but I'm photographing an old-fashioned, and that tends to be a bit warmer and a bit more of a wintry themed drink, so I made sure I went for a really nice bright colourful background, which is going to really make the orange colours of the whiskey stand out and give it a whole summery feel. I get this all set up, so the light in the background and the camera, which is going to be at about a 45-degree angle. For this image I decided to go with about a 45-degree angle. This is not exact, I don't measure that out. I just tend to give the camera exactly where it looks right. Drinks are always really good shot between a 25 to a 75-degree angle, because you get some of the height from the drink, but you can also see into the top of the drink as well. Before I go ahead and make the cocktail, I make sure I get all of the props in roughly the right position. It's going to be a lot easier to just move around empty glasses and things like that without it being full, because you're going to get a bit of a mess on the glass if you start moving around your cocktail. Also gives me a chance to use a couple of different glasses and see exactly which one I like the best for this shoot. For this image, I placed the drink, so the hero subject, in the middle layer, and then just behind that to the right, there's going to be a decanter of whiskey. In the foreground of the image, on the right hand side, there's going to be a small chopping board, quite light, keeping it with that summery vibes, with some orange sliced on it. This is creating a triangle in the image which draws your eye towards that whiskey cocktail. Also, the knife on the chopping board will also lead your eye right up there, also helping draw your eye towards that cocktail. After doing a few test shots to make sure I've got everything positioned right and the lighting spot on, I make the cocktail. An old fashioned is an amazingly simple cocktail. It's just sugar or sugar syrup, Angostura bitters, water, and a really good whiskey. When the cocktail is ready, I use a funnel to pour it into the glass. This just stops any splashes making a mess of my nice clean glass, meaning there's less to edit in Photoshop, which is always great. I check the lighting again, just in case adding the liquid changed it a little bit, but it all looks really good, so I then go on to add the garnish. I just added a little orange swirl. I'm doing this last so it doesn't wilt and get a bit dry looking under these hot lights. I also add a large cube of ice. I use real ice. I like the texture and the different patterns you get in real ice, but there are some really great alternatives if you want to use fake ice. With these ice cubes, they are pretty massive and they do take a long time to melt, which makes them really great for a shoe like this, because under these hot lights, normal ice would melt pretty quickly. It also makes the drink that little bit more interesting because it's not your usual kind of just block of ice. I knew I wanted some oranges and a knife in the bottom right hand corner, but I made sure that I didn't add these until everything else was ready, because you don't want them looking a bit dry, just like with the garnish. Orange is a regular complement to an old fashioned, so adding this and the decanter at the back, it gives you an idea of exactly what's in that glass, because without knowing it, without it being labelled, it's not going to be really obvious. It gives you a sense of exactly what this cocktail is going to taste like, which was pretty good. Now I've finished my main shot and I've got that hero image, that one that I really wanted to capture. I can move things around and get a few different shots. I got a few more close up ones of the whiskey, I got a nice one with the bottle in the background, and I had to be quite quick with this. Although the ice doesn't melt very quickly, it will start to melt and look a bit sad. This is another really important thing with planning my shoots. I knew exactly what I wanted to get, so as soon as I finished my hero one, I knew which shoot I was doing second and third, making sure I can get the most out of the shoot. That's it for this week's video, guys. I hope you found it interesting to see behind the scenes on this old-fashioned shoot. It was very tasty and I definitely would recommend making one yourself if you're a fan of whiskey cocktails. If you're interested in how to create hard light images yourself like this one, check out next week's video when I'm going to talk about exactly how to create hard light images for food and drinks photography. I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Bye!